If you're in the market for an electric vehicle, pay attention because I'm going to list off 10 things that you should probably know before you pull the trigger. What is happening, guys? Ari here from negotiationguides.com, and by clicking here or the link in the description below, you'll be able to get pricing from your local dealerships for new and used vehicles. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing because this whole channel is going to teach you everything you're going to need to know so that you can negotiate your best possible deal. You guys, let's get down to business. Now, there's a lot of buzz surrounding electric vehicles, and you might be wondering if you're missing out on some of the action. Trust me, you're not. Over the last couple of years, electric car sales have only made up between 5 and 10% of total vehicle sales, being closer to that 5% number as of this past year, given the chip shortage and manufacturers really emphasizing their more popular gasoline models. In terms of inventory, we've only got about 7,400 electric vehicles. To put that into perspective, we've got 16,000 hybrids, 15,000 diesels, and about 326,000 gasoline vehicles. By no means are we anywhere close to seeing an all-electric vehicle inventory, and I really don't think that manufacturers are going to hit this whole target of being all-electric by 2030 or 2040. I think it may take a little bit longer than that. I certainly know that legislature is coming out to facilitate making electric vehicles a little bit easier in terms of both not only just manufacturing, but also purchasing. I just think it's going to take a lot longer. Something you might be curious about, the most common 0 to 60 time for some of the cheaper electric vehicles is about 7 seconds. Now, you can certainly get a faster vehicle than this for, say, in the 35 to 40,000 range, but your entry-level electric vehicles that are starting off around 25 to 30K are doing 0 to 60s in roughly about 7 seconds or so. Now, a good baseline to keep in mind in terms of range, how far your electric vehicle will get you, is about 200 or more miles. The best vehicles on the market are seeing about 250 to about 400 miles on a full charge. However, if you live in a state where the climates are extreme, as in if you live in a very hot or a very cold state, this mileage range could vary greatly. Just a little snippet from my own personal experience having owned a smart car, which actually had an 80-mile range on a full charge. That dropped to about 40 miles once you blasted the heat or the AC. Tesla and GM no longer qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. Why is this important? Well, Tesla and GM are among the highest selling electric vehicles. You want to check out the link in the description to see which vehicles still qualify for that $7,500 tax incentive. Some good news, however, is the fact that GM has reduced pricing significantly on their Bolt to offset whatever the federal government has taken away in terms of the tax credit. Now, you do want to keep in mind, there is a link in the description below. If you're looking for a particular vehicle and are curious to know whether or not that federal tax credit is still available, you can actually check it and see up-to-date information regarding federal tax incentives on specific vehicles. If you're thinking to yourself, an electric vehicle may be out of budget, keep in mind the average cost of a brand new car right now is about $35,000, and about 45% of all electric vehicles right now, so roughly about 3 to 3,500 vehicles that are electric, are above $45,000, as in 55% of the electric vehicles for sale in the United States right now are below $45,000. Some are actually very close to this $35,000 number, so it seems to be on par with what a new car's rough average price is right now. Now, some of the worst EPA combined range that I'm seeing is on the Mazda MX-30, and the Mazda MX-30 only has about 100-mile range on a full charge. The Nissan Leaf S with about 150 miles on a full charge, and the Hyundai Ioniq with about 170-mile range on a full charge. What I want to recommend are the following vehicles. The Hyundai Kona gets about 258 miles on a full charge. The Chevy Bolt EV, the 2022 model, gets about 259 miles on a full charge, and the Kia Niro EV gets about 239 miles on a full charge. Definitely look at these three vehicles as opposed to the first three vehicles from the previous section. Last couple things, you're probably wondering how much charging should cost you. Number 9, getting a level 2 charger installed at your home, as in you're not using the typical wall plug to charge your car and you're using a very, very heavy duty charger should cost you about $1,500, including labor and parts. This is actually negotiable because a lot of installers will run some sort of a promotion, or you may benefit from getting the dealership to cover some of the cost or referring you to somebody that they do business with to install the charger at a lower cost, or maybe you're having it included in your deal. Keep that in mind. You can negotiate that in there. Typically, a cost of about $1,500 is what to expect if you're trying to install a level 2 charger at your house. Lastly, how much does it cost to charge your car? From a monthly perspective, and including variations from state to state in terms of how much electricity costs in one state to the next and what size battery you're charging, it should cost you no more than about $50 per month on average. This will actually be far less if your state doesn't charge too much for electricity, and depending on what time of day you charge it. Luckily, most of you guys are charging it at nighttime, where peak hours cost you a lot less for electricity. I really hope this list of 10 things on what to be on the lookout for on an electric vehicle will help you if you're in the market for one. Use negotiation guides by clicking here or the link in the description below, so you can link with your local area dealerships to get the very best price on a brand new or used car. And if you found this information useful, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.